deal of all that's expected to get done at some point this summer is from Micah Parsons, who is expected to become the highest paid defensive player in NFL history whenever that deal gets done, and both sides are working to make it happen. It should get done at some point this summer, and it will be a record-setting deal, and it will give the Dallas Cowboys the highest paid player in NFL history in Dak Prescott and the highest paid defensive player in NFL history in Micah Parsons.
You saw Jerry Jones talking to Micah Parsons out there at minicamp. Wonder what they were talking about. Let's go to Dallas now for Cowboys minicamp. Oh, look at the tent there. We got the star on the tent. That's cute. Little campfire. Dak Prescott is there. He's healthy finally, as you see him right there on the field. This from today. Now with another star receiver across from CeeDee Lamb, the George Pickens edition with a new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, figures to bolster this offense. Here's more from Dak on the receivers.
It's valuable CeeDee being here. I mean, it's hard to even put in comparison him being here, the work we're able to get versus last year, versus him under the contract negotiations. But just to have him here, having these practices, getting off to a good start, understanding each other, what we're trying to accomplish, has been monumental. And then obviously adding GP, something that's been monumental. And I've said it before, when you bring in guys like that, talented guys I've played with over the years, that you look at their resume and they're winning, I mean, that's credit to them. They make that process of me getting to know them that much easier. They know how to get separation. They know how to win at the ball. For me, it's just about learning their bodies and just making sure communicating a few things for them.
Dak just spoke moments ago. Todd Archer, our Cowboys reporter, is out there at minicamp as well. Todd, what stood out to you about watching Dak in this Cowboys offense now with these new additions?
Yeah, Laura, a couple things. Really, over the entire offseason, a lot more shifts, motions, things we hadn't seen from the Cowboys offense, and then speed. George Pickens talked about that on Tuesday. There's speed everywhere that can open up this scheme. Last year, the Cowboys had just 47 pass plays of 20 yards or more. Compare that to 2 years ago, and they had one of the best offenses in the league when they had 64 passes of 20 yards or more. And now remember, Prescott missed the final 9 games last year with that hamstring injury. He's been out there the entire time this offseason. Looks good. He and Brian Schottenheimer really look to be gelling on Wednesday. Dak had 5 touchdown passes in team and 7-on-7 drills. But let me get back to the receivers. At the end of this month with Dak, they'll go on their summer retreat that they've taken here lately. They'll work out, they'll run, they'll do everything together, get to know each other. And that takes on more importance this year because Lamb is around and Pickens is new. So by the time the Cowboys get to Oxnard for training camp, they expect to be fully on the same page 100%.
Yeah, it's a good point. CeeDee Lamb, of course, going through the contract stuff last year, so wasn't around as much with Dak. You heard Dak referencing that as well. Thanks so much to Todd Archer, the latest from Cowboys camp, which is wrapping up today. Now, we know the Cowboys struggled last season without Dak Prescott under center, but they weren't exactly thriving when he was healthy either. In the first 9 weeks before Dak's injury, the Cowboys still ranked in the bottom half of the NFL in scoring. They also ranked 22nd in yards per play, 24th in expected points added. They had 7 more turnovers than their opponents. Peter, I love what Todd just said about shifts and motions that they're seeing in this Cowboys offense. Hey, we've been begging for some of that creativity. When you look at this offense, how much improvement do you expect next season?
I also love to hear what Todd had to say about Dak having both of those receivers there in June, and then of course they'll have time together this offseason and they'll hit the ground running come training camp. Look, the stuff that I look at is George Pickens and what he's available to do, and what he came early every single day to this minicamp, showed up, performed, and to hear Dak talk about it just minutes ago saying GP has been phenomenal. That's the term he said. Here's the quote from Dak. I'm just super excited that he's on our team. He's one of us, and he's our brother now. He's all about continuing to grow and making sure he's putting the best out there, and that's his approach. Remember, guys, 24 years old. He's had his reputation dragged through the mud. You heard about him being late for practices, late for games, and being a sore spot in that Steelers locker room. He can reverse that entire narrative, become a free agent, and hit the absolute jackpot if he is just on his best behavior and he does what he can do. Look, the stuff you've been hearing about George Pickens goes all the way back to his University of Georgia days. He hasn't been able to put it all together, but he's had a perfect spring with the Cowboys since arriving. Can he keep it going?
You know what? Reverse his reputation and hit the jackpot. That's how we got Peter Schrager here at ESPN. So I'm all for it. Whenever you have Dak Prescott using language like brother, he's already on nickname terms, GP, you know that they're super excited. And it should lift their offense. This is a match made in heaven. Because even if you look at George Pickens, although he's young, he also doesn't really know what it's like to play alongside another bona fide wide receiver. Because he's had to be a one, and he hasn't had, much of a options on the other side to take some of that attention away. With CeeDee Lamb, who also is starving for a great number two, and for Dak Prescott, it allows him to see the field. It allows defenses to play them honest, and then you can really see and get the potential out of Dak Prescott that is there and what's warranted him being the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Listen, this Dallas offense is going to undergo a lot of changes this upcoming season. George Pickens will be one of them. They're still looking to establish their running game. They're going to be leaning on Javonte Williams, who they signed as a free agent, Jaden Blue, who they drafted, Miles Sanders, who they also signed. There's changes to the running game. There's changes to the passing game. There's changes to the coaching staff. There's a lot going on in Dallas that this team will have to improve on this season.
Yeah, I think, though, when you even list all those names out and the way that Brian Schottenheimer's handled everything, it looks like the hope should be really high. I think we've said that a few times about the Cowboys, but this is real, you guys. We're just getting started on NFL Live. Aaron Rodgers is settling into the black and gold, but our analysts divided on this signing. Peter and Hawk take their stances. You don't want to miss which side they're on. Plus, after an injury-riddled season, the 49ers are hoping to recapture their dominance, but one of our analysts thinks their magic might be gone for good. Stick around to find out why that's said. It's next right here on NFL Live. We'll be right back. And he was asked today about his approach in the absence of Richardson.
Yeah, I think that's always got to be your approach. And it really at any position in the NFL is preparing to play and be ready to go. So, like I said, there's been plenty to work on and stay busy with from my standpoint, and just learning the offense and getting here, learning the guys, building relationships with everyone. There's been plenty to do, so I'm just been trying to focus on that.
Adam, what more can you tell us about the Colts quarterback situation?
Well, there are questions about Anthony Richardson's shoulder. Now, the team has said that they expect him to be ready for training camp, but that doesn't mean that other people aren't wondering whether he actually will. So that continues to be an issue for this team, and it's why the Colts went out and signed Daniel Jones for more money this season than the Pittsburgh Steelers are paying Aaron Rodgers, because they knew there was the real possibility that Daniel Jones might be called upon to be this team's starting quarterback. Now, the team hopes that Richardson can resume practicing in training camp. He'll be shut down until then. We'll see if he can get back. If not, they have Daniel Jones there to take the starting snaps.
Yeah, Adam, as soon as they signed Daniel Jones, we were all like, may not be great for Richardson either way. Let's go to Washington now, where Terry McLaurin not at minicamp because he wants a new deal. Head coach Dan Quinn updated where things stand on his star wideout earlier this week.
Finally, James Cook, who, by the way, isn't actually a hold-in, but this has been a popular target among Cowboys fandom, so I did want to have a conversation on him. James Cook reported to Bills minicamp, even did some drills, by the way. This is not even a hold-in situation. I actually appreciate James Cook's comment of like, why? So why'd you show up, James? I like my money. That's why I'm here. You know what? I don't want to lose $100,000 either. It's on a fine, or I guess relative to my pay scale. $100 is probably what it is. I don't know. Look, running back contracts can be tricky. And the Cook one is another kind of like deciding point for the market in general. Given the Bills' Super Bowl hopes, I don't think a trade makes sense. I don't see why the Bills would give up on James Cook, even with the issues with him not holding, and he showed up, to play Ray Davis, who I like, but isn't a number one back, at least now, and Ty Johnson. Like, he's cheap, affordable. Now, I think there's a scenario where James Cook's a free agent next year and can revisit that entire conversation. But right now, I don't see any benefits of dreaming on that one. Some others to not hope for who holdouts, non-holdouts. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson did show up, so can't put them on your list. Terry McLaurin is holding out, but you've got George Pickens, so you're fine there. Plus, they never trade him in division. Elton Jenkins is holding in. He kind of wants some more guaranteed money or an extension from Green Bay because he's switching positions. Dallas is actually kind of fine on the offensive line, though.